I'm going to break down the Baylor men's tennis roster, and I'm going to say this. They're losing their top three in the singles lineup from last year, which is going to be a challenge, interesting to see who steps up in the top three. And not only that, who's going to be 4, 5, and 6. But I'm going to go in detail on each player. There is 3 freshmen on the team, and that's Mon Braysock, that's 6'2" tall, from Strasbourg, France. I'm not sure he's going to be cleared or not, but supposedly I've heard he's not going to be cleared to play. He didn't play any collegiate stuff in the fall, so I'm not sure if he's going to play in the spring. So, but to me, if he got to play, I think he would be in the top half of the lineup if he was cleared. Luke Koenig, he's from South Africa, Durban, South Africa. At that, 6'2" tall. I would say he's probably going to be more of a lower half of the lineup player if he's cleared, which I would think he would be cleared, but you never know. But I definitely know Jean-Bort Valets. He's 6 foot tall. That's a freshman from Budapest, Hungary. He would be, to me, like a top 4 player in the singles lineup. He should be in the singles lineup, it's just where. He's got a lot of power, but he's going to have to learn, of course. Now, Christopher Franzen, he's a junior. Obviously 6'5". He's a 4th-year junior, technically. He has a COVID year. From Augsburg, Germany. I expect him to be more like a 8, 9, or 10 guy on the team. Of course, Tadeusz Perulik. He's a transfer from TCU from Prague, Czech Republic. He enrolled last fall, not this past one, but the fall before. 5'10" tall. That's a junior. I expect him to be in a singles lineup for sure. It's a matter of, I think he's going to step up into 2 or 3, but he might be number 4. I don't know. I don't know about number 1 for him. That's the thing. I'm not sure. But it's going to be one of those work in progress deals. Now, there are 3 sophomores, and that's Justin Braveman, 6'4" tall, from Naples, Florida. He's more like a 9 or 10 guy to me on the roster in terms of singles. So that's just FYI. Now, the next 2 guys are going to compete for that bottom half of the lineup spot, 5 and 6. In my opinion, that's Marko Milanovic, 5'10" tall, from Belgrade, Serbia. I think he's going to be a 5 or 6 guy, but I know he's played at number 4 before, last year before he got pulled as singles lineup a lot. Now, Ethan Musa, he's 5'8" tall. That's a sophomore from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. To me, he's more like a number 6, 5 or 6 guy, but definitely or number 7, I would say, or even 8. So he's outside looking in, if not possibly in. Now, Finn Bass, he's had the most impressive fall by far. I mean, in terms of ranking wise, he's a senior this year, 5'11" tall, from Cornwall, United Kingdom. I think he's going to be in the top half of the lineup this year. He might be the one, for all I know, but for sure in the top 4. Now, Juan Pablo Grassi Mazzucci, 6'2" tall. That's a senior from Mar del Plata, Argentina. He was a transfer from UCF. He enrolled last year. I expect him to be in a singles lineup somewhere in the top 4. So, my guess is as good as y'all's on the doubles. I have no idea. But I would assume Finn and Juan are going to be the number 1 doubles team. Now it's figure out 2 and 3. I think based on the fall, Jean-Bort and Tadeusz, they call him Teddy, and Juan Wampy, by the way. I would expect Teddy and Jean-Bort, they call him Jambi, I've heard that, to be the number 2 doubles team. I would think so. It's more like figure out the number 3. I have no idea. And hopefully Luke Koenig could help in the doubles because they're going to have to figure that out. It's just going to be one of those interesting years, and especially try to figure out your top 4. I mean, which order, and then 5 and 6. I know I'm not really worried about. It's more like who's going to step up. I think Ben Bass has a COVID year left, but I'm not positive. I think the same thing goes for Wumpy as well. So both technically could come back for one more year, but I'm not positive. So we'll have to wait and see on those. Their preseason pick number 11 in the country, which I think that makes a lot of sense. It does. And their preseason pick 3rd in the Big 12 out of 6 teams, which makes sense for now because, look, Texas and TCU are really good. But the good news is we get to host Texas this year. And we host Texas Tech. That's pick 6 in the league. Granted, Oklahoma State are going to be good too. I think Oklahoma State's going to be better than last year. They're going to make the postseason. I would think so. Unlike a year ago. I mean, Oklahoma is going to be an NCAA tournament team. So, I do expect at least 5 out of 6 teams in the Big 12 to be NCAA tournament. Possibly all 6. I know Texas Tech is also dealing with a new head coach as well. I mean, and granted, Oklahoma State's dealing with the second-year coach. So, we'll have to wait and see. But my ceiling for the team, reasonably, is they're going to finish at least 3rd in the Big 12. At least at worst. But at best, I could see number 1. 1, because we beat TCU at TCU twice last year. I mean, both Big 12 tournament and in a non-conference match. We have played them. We beat them. I mean, and we're going to actually get to play them in a non-con too this year again, but this time in Waco. So that's a possibility. And of course Texas has been banged up the last 2 years. And I know right now, based on what I've seen, Pierre-Yves Bailey didn't play this fall, but he actually played it in the Miami Invitational recently, from what I saw on their website. So I think he's healthy. He's just working himself way back. But Michael Braswell did not play, and I also know that I should recognize this guy, Sam Wolde. He medically retired yesterday. So I don't know what the circumstances on that is. They've just been banged up. They were banged up last year at times. They couldn't even stay healthy. Because to me, if that team was healthy, they would be automatic top 10. Without a shadow of a doubt. And they do have a good top 5. I know they do. But the number 6 is going to be a question mark all year long. And the thing is, can they stay healthy? That's the only other issue. Of course, TCU, they're going to have questions at 5 and 6 this year as well. Though I know they do have Jack Pennington Jones, but he might not play this year. He didn't play any college stuff. And not even listed in the top 10 newcomers, so I don't think he's going to be able to play at all. I don't think he's going to be cleared. So Luke Famba is obviously their number 1. I would assume 2 would be Sandra Jong for them. 3, Jake Friendly. 4, I would say possibly Sebastian Gornsny, or it's either him or Pedro Vivas Marcos. Then number 6 is anybody's guess. It could be, trying to look at the roster. I'm just saying those names because I know those names without even having to look it up. I should know he played in the Big 12 championships against Baylor, as well as the Big 12 match against Baylor. Oh, Thomas Jurasek. He might be the 6. Or Louis Maxted. They have guys on the team. So I'm not going to say we're out of the competition for winning the Big 12 this year. I'm not going to say that. Because, look, anything could happen, first of all. And second, you didn't have to be number 1 overall in the Big 12 to win the Big 12 tournament the last. 2021, no. Then one seed did it, and that was Texas. 2019, that team didn't win it. 2018, they didn't win it. Of course, last year, no, because TCU was the 1 seed in the Big 12. So, yeah, it's just a matter of number 6 for TCU figure out. As well as Texas. So, it's not like impossible. But as for NCAA tournament, I don't know if this is a Final Four team this year. So, that's why I'm going to say Elite 8 or Sweet 16 at best. I definitely think NCAA tournament team. Round of 32 might be the floor. I wouldn't think 64. I wouldn't think so. But it's more like, are they a Elite 8 team? I don't know. That to me is the ceiling. But I would love to be proven wrong. And of course, we have a lot of time between now and in May to improve and gain experience for some of those guys, as well as all those current guys from last year that came back are going to be stepping up in new roles, especially at the 1 through 3 spot, even 4 spot. So I think 5 and 6 should be fine as long as we win 60% of the matches on 1 and 2. I give this team a top. If they would be a top 10 team if they win 60% of the matches at 1 and 2 singles. I would think so. As well as stay better, get better at 4, because 5 and 6 were practically wins nearly every match. So I like our chances. And 3 needs to be a little bit better than last year too. It was an up and down deal. So that's the good news for the team right there. And they're going to get battle tested early. I know the first 2 matches are against Lamar and the current Word. They should win both of those. They're at home especially. But William Mary's an NCAA tournament team, but I would think we would beat them despite being on the road. It's more like at Virginia. That's the first big test. I do think Arizona State is going to be better this year in ITA kickoff weekend than last year, but we'll have to wait and see. And it's either San Diego or preseason number 16 Florida State. So that's not going to be easy, but we'll have to wait and see. Michigan we get to host this year. They're a preseason top 10 team. I have to go back to the rankings just to make sure, but I know they're a top 10 team. Like I said, we get to play TCU as a non-con match on February 8th. Arizona is good as well. That's an NCAA tournament team, and we get to host that match at home. Now it's at Ohio State. It's going to be a tricky one. And Ohio State is nearly impossible to beat at their place, especially indoors, but it's a good challenge. We're going to get challenged enough in the beginning, so I'm not worried about that. Of course, if you get to national indoors with that kickoff weekend, win both of those matches, we get to play at least 3 matches. I would say that. And then USC is a top 15 team for sure. In the preseason, so that's going to be a good test as well. And that's even on the road, so. And we get to play Arizona State again. granted, on March 5th. Illinois should be better than last year, so it's a matter of NCAA tournament or not. And of course, Wake Forest is a top 20 team, so we're going to get battle tested. SMU was nearly in the round of 32 last year. That's a good team. Of course, Tulsa pushed A&M to the limit. And like I said, the Big 12 is going to be interesting. So that's just naming some key matches right there. And I know for sure that Michigan and Ohio State, it's good to get challenged in the non-con, especially where you need to know where you're at. And Ohio State's number 2 in the country. Michigan's number 5 in the country. Luckily, we get to play both of them at home, as well as TCU. That's number 3. So, and Texas is preseason pick number 8 in the country. I mean, Wake Forest is number 14. Arizona's number 15. So, we're going to be battle tested. We're going to be good enough battle tested. So, we're going to have to wait and see how this team gels and looks, especially during doubles. Hopefully, they are a little bit more stable than last year and better consistently, because this is going to be interesting to see what happens. Anyways, if you like this content, hit the like and subscribe button. I see you guys later. It's going to 500 subscribers. We're on the road to it. Let's go. And yeah, USC is number 9 in the country in the preseason poll.